Warm greetings to our viewers and welcome back to Bulletin Bites. Latest news on law, tax and business in India. India's economy in 2025 is on a strong growth trajectory, with GDP expected to rise between 6.5% and 7.5%, supported by robust domestic demand, government infrastructure spending and favourable monsoon forecasts boosting agriculture. Despite some global trade uncertainties and currency volatility, India remains one of the fastest growing major economies in the world. On that note, let's recap Q1 2025 via Bulletin Bites to understand factors that contribute to this dynamic economy. Starting with company law updates, MCA extended the deadline for dematerialization of shares to June 30, 2025 for private companies not classified as small companies as of March 31, 2023. Let's move on to FEMA and IBC updates. Some key regulatory updates introduced under Foreign Exchange Management Regulations as notified by Reserve Bank of India, and recent ruling given by the Honorable Supreme Court of India pertaining to proceeding under Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. RBI now permits Indian resident exporters to open foreign currency accounts with overseas banks for all export-related transactions, not just construction or turnkey projects. These accounts may be used to receive export proceeds or advance payments, and funds can be used for imports or must be repatriated within the prescribed time frame, in line with applicable FEMA regulations. In a notable step towards trade facilitation, the RBI now permits non-residents to open special non-resident rupee accounts, that is SNRR, not only with Indian AD banks but also with their overseas branches. Further, the scope is broadened to cover all permissible current and capital account transactions. RBI further amended the Foreign Exchange Management, Mode of Payment and Reporting of Non-Debt Instruments Regulations 2019 through its third amendment to streamline payment mechanisms and reporting requirements for investments by persons resident outside India. Moving forward to labour law and other regulatory updates. In Western Coalfields Limited versus Manohar Govinda Fulzale, the Supreme Court held that an employee's gratuity can be forfeited under the Payment of Gratuity Act 1972 if the misconduct amounts to an offence involving moral turpitude, even without a formal criminal conviction. Please note that the Union Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has issued a new Solar Goods Order 2025, replacing the 2017 version, mandating BIS certification and updated standards. There have been some important rulings given by the courts and tax tribunals across the country. At first, the CBDT, through a recent change, has expanded the scope of safe harbour rules. With this amendment, the prescribed limit to cover transactions of software development, KPO, contract R&D and ITEs has been increased from INR 200 crore to INR 300 crore. In addition, manufacturing of lithium-ion batteries for EVs and hybrid EVs is now included as part of core auto components. This move will essentially cover more taxpayers who can now opt for safe harbour regime. CBDT has set a new record by signing 174 advanced pricing agreements or APAs this fiscal year 2025. With this, the total signed APAs now stands at 815. This progress showcases a major milestone for transfer pricing certainty and adoption of APAs in India. Moving on to some judicial rulings, the Mumbai Tribunal in a recent case has extended APA methodology to similar transactions with non-covered affiliates. This ruling reinforces the binding strength of APAs even to non-covered transactions on meeting certain conditions. The finance bill presented by the Honourable Finance Minister had received an assent from the Honourable President without much of changes from GST or customs perspective, and hence the said amendments would be enacted as law. Further, certain welcome changes are also introduced in the GST regulations, wherein the procedure for temporary registration and reporting of negative liability in GST returns are introduced in the GST regulations. The government had also introduced certain clarifications with respect to the procedural challenges faced while filing the application of amnesty scheme notified under GST regulations. We would also like to inform you that for promoting the production in India and for ease of doing business in India, the amendments have been introduced under the customs regulations for reducing and simplifying the compliance for end-user-based exemptions provided by the government. Further, additional benefit of automated clearance is also introduced for the authorized economic operator, that is AEO, for faster clearance of imported goods. As incentive to the exporter, the government had extended the benefit of RODTEP scheme for exporters availing benefit under EOU, Advance Authorization and SEZ scheme until February 5, 2025. Further, as impetus for the sectors which have observed a decline in exports of more than 5% in financial year 23-24 as compared to financial year 22-23, the average export obligation of EPCG license holder is proportionately reduced. Let us now move on to the direct and international tax updates for this quarter. With regards to liaison offices of non-resident entities established in India, there is a requirement to file an annual statement of activities of the liaison office in Form 49C. The due date for filing Form 49C was earlier 60 days from the end of the financial year, which has now been increased to 8 months from the end of the financial year. This move provides additional time for non-residents to comply with the statutory requirement under the domestic income tax law. Moving on to some interesting income tax decisions of this quarter. There have been several instances where even after clear eligibility of the taxpayer to receive the due income tax refunds from the Income Tax Department, such income tax refunds are not processed and credited to the taxpayer's bank accounts in a timely and efficient manner, with prolonged delays sometimes running into months and even years. As the Income Tax Department is also liable to pay interest on the delay in payment of income tax refunds, it leads to additional interest burden on the government's treasury. Many a times, technical system-related glitches are cited as reasons for inability to efficiently process the due income tax refunds of the taxpayers. In a recent Bombay High Court decision, the court has termed such delays as unusual and unacceptable, stressing that once refunds are admitted, they must be promptly credited. The decision holds significance as it is issued by the Senior Judicial Appellate Forum, that is, a High Court, and addresses a recurring issue commonly faced by the taxpayers, including resident and non-resident taxpayers alike. In another interesting decision, the Chennai Income Tax Appellate Tribunal has ruled that surcharge and education cess are not separately leviable on income taxable under the Double Tax Treaty. The tribunal decision holds significance as many a times the taxpayers face an issue that their income offered to tax in the income tax return under the relevant Double Tax Treaty rates is also subjected by the Income Tax Department to surcharge and education cess as prescribed under the domestic income tax law. It's an exciting time for the accounting profession as AI continues to evolve and enhance the way financial data is managed and utilized. AI is indeed transforming accounting, making it smarter, faster, and more efficient. The integration of AI into various tools and systems is transforming how the accounting organizations operate. The synergy between AI and the accounting advisors are transforming industries by offering enhanced security, efficiency, and innovation. What would be the effect of AI on the future of accounting world? Now that's an intriguing question. Read our newsletter to know how AI is revolutionizing the accounting world. Dear viewers, with this we would like to conclude our Bulletin Bites. As usual, for detailed information, refer to our newsletter and get in touch with us. If you found this bulletin informative, please press the like button, share it with your colleagues and friends. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay updated.